One of the biggest things that new investors need to figure out if you do not have a construction background is what is the cost of everything. So, folks, I brought on a contractor who went through kind of top to bottom rough estimates. Now, these rough estimates are obviously for Fresno, California, but you can see how she broke down the costs and maybe how you could break down costs with a general contractor in your market.
Hey everyone, I have an exciting show for you today. I have a topic, a speaker that you have all been asking for. I can't tell you how many times I have had someone call me, hey, give me estimates, give me samples. Let's talk to a general contractor. So congratulations. We have the rock star that is a part of the hub in Fresno. We have Maritza on the show today. How you doing, Maritza?
Good, thank you. Thank you
Excellent.
for having me.
Oh, and you're actually in the hub. Look at that wall you did there. You want to show the whole thing? Augustine's remodeling. That's on the wall in her office. She has done some pretty special things. Very, very cool. So, Maritza, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? They haven't met you yet. Who are you? What you do? How long you been in Fresno? All that basic stuff to start.
My name is Maritza. Augustine is my dad, and we've been in Fresno for probably about, I would say, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I started 5 years ago with my dad, and he's been in the business for about 25 years.
Very, very cool. And what Maritza and her father and the really team have done at Augustine Remodeling is really become the go-to general contractors for really anybody in my network for doing flips or remodeling. And if you've ever seen anything done by EVC Homes, many of my projects, Jason Pritchard, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And that really speaks, Maritza, to what you and your father do and the whole team does from a quality work, but also just the sheer amount of work you all take on. I have no idea how you do it, frankly.
A little stressful sometimes, but it's manageable.
There you go. Well, one thing I want to make sure we jump into, because I know a lot of people want to talk to a general contractor, because what I teach them is, okay, run your numbers, know your numbers, calculate your yield. And where they sometimes struggle is in estimating remodeling costs. So I thought maybe I would send you some hypotheticals and you can give a range or your experience, and we'll tackle it from there. Does that work?
Yeah.
All right. So in no particular order, just from memory, I probably should have wrote these down, but oh well. Let's talk about painting. Let's assume it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Let's assume 1 story. Let's say an average of 1,300 square feet. Let's talk about painting the outside, and then we'll talk about painting the inside. So if you were going to do two paint colors, right? The base and then the trim around windows and all of that. Give a rough estimate on painting the exterior, if you don't mind.
Roughly about 1,900.
Right. So figure. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So
exterior, roughly it's about 2,300.
Okay. So 19 to 2,300. And obviously that will vary based on how much prep work, right? Do you have to scrape it, power wash it, that kind of stuff, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Does it make a difference if it's stucco on the exterior or, I don't know, I guess wood, siding?
It just depends. Sometimes the siding is a little old and it'll suck in a lot of paint. And then sometimes with the stucco, it takes a lot of paint because you have to go different ways because it'll get stuck in there. But it just depends.
Yeah. So the variables will be basically it's how much paint does it absorb, because sometimes you have to put on an extra coat or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then power washing and really where I've seen most of the variability is prepping the house, because sometimes you got to go around and scrape, even if you're just scraping the I don't know what you call it, the stuff around the windows and on the roof.
The trim.
That's the word.
Yeah, basically the prep work is the most time consuming, and every time we strip a home, we have to make sure that all those chips fall into the plastic, because otherwise we could get fined. And we have to sometimes replace some sidings, especially in old homes. Most of the siding, there is always places that have to be replaced because it's so bad. And same with the stucco. Sometimes with the stucco, it's peeling. We have to patch it up, redash it. Sometimes it's even better to do that because it'll make your home look fresh again.
Yeah. So the takeaway on this first one, everyone, is it's actually not the painting of the house that's the money. It's the prep work. So when you're looking at a project, ask yourself, what do we think this is going to take? Because that's labor, and labor is the expensive part, right, Maritza?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the inside. Again, let's assume, I guess I said 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 1,300 square feet. Give whatever caveats you want. Same deal, two colors.
Inside, we usually charge about 2,300 to 25, depending. The amount of prep work that has to go in it. There's a lot of patches, sanding. Sometimes you want popcorn sprays and all that stuff. Yeah.
So again, just like Maritza's saying, it's not the painting that's the cost on the inside, it's the prep work. Also, it's how you have to make sure, I don't know what you would call it, make sure there's no overspray or paint drops, right? If it's a brand new floor, for example, right?
We usually paint before putting in the floor in our vacant homes.
Yep.
The most time-consuming part is when we take on projects with clients in them that are living there, and because we have to cover everything, be extra careful, make sure we clean up after. So that would be a big part of your price when a quote is given and it's decided.
So again, think labor, everyone. What you're probably going to hear throughout this is labor, right? The actual inside obviously is more painting, right? Because you got more corners and nooks and crannies and all of that. But just remember when you're looking at these, think about that. Okay. So staying on the outside, I guess, let's talk windows, right? I don't know. What's a window? Average window, 3 feet by 3 feet? I have no idea. What's an average window costed? Like single pane, take out, drop in a brand new window.
Usually windows are about $350 to install, and the window itself. And then when we go out and give a quote, we always look at especially if it's a wood window, a lot of times it's rotten and stuff, so we have to replace the whole frame, and that's a little more.
Yeah, so so 350 is pop out the old one, put in the new one, no repairs.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a Fresno house that's say 1960 or earlier, you're likely going to have to do repair work, right? Because the siding has had lots of water damage over the years. So
they had a lot of windows.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're talking 500. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if you had to repair the siding and all of that,
yes, roughly, to replace the whole frame and repaint and install the window and seal the gaps and everything.
Yeah. So again, there you go. If you're looking at an old house, single pane, just assume 500, and then you'll be surprised if you don't have to do any repairs. My experience says 8 out of 10 windows you're going to have to repair. You might get lucky every now and again, but plan for 500.
Sometimes it's not the whole frame. Sometimes it's just areas that we can replace that part, and it should be okay. But roughly that's what you want to budget.
Very cool. Thank you for that. So let's say one more thing on the outside, roofs. So let's talk about new roofs in one of two ways. Let's always assume, I don't know, what is it, 30-year comp or 20-year comp? Let's talk layover first and then rip off old and put new one down. Because obviously in Fresno, I believe the code is you can still have 2 layers.
One.
Oh, you only have one now? Oh, forget layovers then. All right. So what does it cost to remove a roof and then put on a new one?
Yeah, basically you have to have only one for code.
Okay.
And if you have, especially I think having wood shingles under, well, you have to remove the whole roof and put on plywood and everything. So it's more expensive.
Yeah. So I mean, I see those. I see some of those houses with those little wood planks. Those, I'm like, who the heck would put wood on a roof? When was that in style?
And we just did one, and that was the biggest house, and we're working on the inside now. But the roof was the first part, the first thing that we did. And it was a 60 square home,
Yeah.
like 60 square roof, which is about 3 feet per square.
Oh, wow.
So 60 times 3. It's one of EDC Homes projects, and it's
Oh, nice.
pretty.
Yeah.
And that one came out to probably about, I want to say like $15,000.
Yeah. So would you say that's right on the high end, 15 for a new roof?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That house is huge. It's
Yeah.
huge. It's probably like 3,000 square feet inside.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
So
And then, and then a lot of that you have to account for is also the pitch on the roof.
ah,
You have a really, steep pitch, it's going to be more
okay.
for safety precautions. You have to tie
Strap in.
yourself and everything. So it'll always be more. But that house had wood shingles all over, and you have to reply with the whole house and everything.
Wow. So, yeah. So let's talk about roofs, kind of what she just gave you guys. So first and foremost, there's obviously the size, there's the pitch, and then when she's talking about the plywood, she's meaning when you remove whatever's on top of it, in this case, the wood, but it could happen to shingles as well. Does she have to repair or replace the plywood, right? Kind of like a subfloor. I don't know.
When there is wood shingles under the very first layer, you are not going to have OSB, so you need to account that you have to do your OSB, the plywood.
Yeah.
But if there is just like shingles under, then you most likely already have some. And sometimes it's just parts or areas that we have to repair.
Yep.
So that'll save you.
Yeah. So if 15's the high end, what would you say a low end is? Low. I mean, just like the best case scenario.
Normal slopes are probably 412, 512. And they're a normal size house. I want to say for a typical 1,200 square feet house, a tear off, complete, new plywood and everything, you're roughly running about $9,000.
All right. So when you're looking at a roof online and you're running your numbers and you think it needs a new roof, pick something between 9 and 15. Remember slope, size of home, all of that, and vary accordingly. I think that's great advice. Anything else on the outside, like fencing, like putting up a 40-foot fence?
Fencing, we charge about $22 a foot, wood fence.
Including material?
Yeah.
All right. So $22 a foot for wood fence. What else can we think of on the outside before we jump inside? Anything else come to mind?
Replacing exterior doors.
Okay. What exterior doors go for?
Exterior doors are about $350 for a normal 6-panel install, pre-hung.
Okay. And then you want to tell everybody the difference between an exterior door and an interior door?
Exterior doors are solid, they're heavy, they're most of the time the door jambs are beat up.
Yeah.
Especially if you have dogs or you have a violent person in there.
Yeah, likes to slam the doors.
Yeah, slam those doors. Yeah. So most of the times we install them pre-hung, which comes with a frame, and those are usually a little more, and that's why they're.
And that again was, did I write it down 350 roughly?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, very cool. And they come painted already? They're all white, aren't they?
No, the painting of the door is included in your price.
Oh, cool. Oh, there we go. Of course. Okay. All right. So let's jump on an inside and we will go floor to ceiling. So let's assume you've seen what I use in my stuff because you've done a project or two for me, the laminate flooring. what is it, a charge per square foot, or is it, I mean, how do you charge
Yeah.
for?
So usually laminate runs about $4.75 a square foot.
All right, so let's assume
$4.75. And
five.
that's just the material and the labor and installation. But that doesn't include if your subfloor is run, especially if you have, raised foundation.
Mhm.
You get to have, a lot of rotting area, especially in the bathrooms and kitchen.
So I interrupted you. I apologize for that. So let's just say $5 a square foot, materials and labor, assuming no repairs of the subfloor.
Yes.
Okay. And then if you rip off the old stuff, the carpet, tile, whatever it is, I know one you did for me at one of our projects. If you have to raise the house, because some of these old houses have corners that have moved a couple inches.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
That's probably a couple $1,000, depending on how bad it is. Sometimes, if it's just a little bit, we can self-level it with concrete, but if it's bad, then we have to rip out the whole floor, jack it up, and, add new tiers, floor joist. Yeah,
so it's all fixable, but there's a cost, right? You rip it all out, you go underneath, which is claustrophobic to me. You've showed me the crawl spaces. I don't know how people do that. But then you jack it up, new joists. It's all possible, but it's thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Very, very cool. Okay. All right. So let's assume instead of laminate, you wanted to put in tile, maybe tile in the kitchen, tile in the bath. What does that kind of run? If it
tile is roughly around $4 a square foot. If it's a concrete floor, a concrete foundation, if it's a raised, then it's about $5 because we have to put the cement board.
Yeah. So again, when you're building quotes, just assume $5, and then you'll be surprised if it's a concrete floor. You'll save a little bit of money because it's easier to apply and keep moving. I know. New, I don't know what you call it, trim around the floor. What is that called? Baseboard?
Baseboard?
Yeah, putting in baseboard.
Baseboard's roughly around $2 a foot.
Okay, $2 a foot. All right, what else? Let's think. Okay, carpet. What does carpet run?
Carpet, it's about $12 a square foot for the cheap carpet, material and labor. So.
And obviously that number will vary based on quality material, right? We're giving.
Yard.
Oh, yard. Sorry, yard. My bad.
Yard.
That was my error. So again, remember guys, when you look at this, she's giving us numbers for stuff that I do. And if you don't know what I do, look at some of our walkthrough videos. This is kind of renter or tenant quality. If you're doing a beautiful flip, like something that EVC Homes would do with much higher quality stuff, these numbers will be higher. Fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. What EVC does and I do are vastly different. They create frankly works of art, and I'm very proud of what Cletus and Aaron do over there. And obviously yourself, Maritz, it's beautiful stuff. All right. So we got flooring, we got baseboards. We've already talked about painting. I guess let's step into, what else would be done in a bedroom? Let's do the easy ones first. Anything, hanging closets, maybe?
The doors, the interior doors, most of the time we have to swap those out either because they're, broken or people want to have, they don't want the flat ones, they want 6-panel, a little more upgraded, but those roughly around about $150 to install.
Okay. Thank you. And then in carpet, we've already talked about. We've talked about the windows. We've talked about painting. So I guess that's it for bedrooms, right? I guess hanging a ceiling fan, maybe?
Yeah, ceiling fans, if there is a light there, then it's probably about just $75. But if we have to run a whole new line for it, it's about $50.
What was that? It cut out. What was it if you had to run a line?
If we have to run a line, it's about $150.
Perfect.
Most of the old homes, especially like in tower and stuff, don't have lights in the bedrooms. I don't know why.
It's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, so that tends to happen a lot.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to call that it for the bedrooms. That will leave the baths and kitchens now. Let's go to the bathrooms. So let's assume you have to full gut. We're going to do a new tub. We're going to do tile up the walls, new toilet, new vanity, kind of new everything. Let's assume it's I don't know, what's an average bathroom size? 20 square feet? 15 square feet?
Usually like 6 by 5.
Yeah, so 30 square feet.
Yeah. Usually for a bathroom like that, renter quality,
Yeah.
it's probably about 3-4 grand.
All right. So that will vary based on size because obviously more material. It will vary if you have to move plumbing, right? Because if you want to move the toilet from point A to point B, it will go up also because a lot of bathrooms in the older homes have subfloor problems.
Yes.
Right.
A lot of bathrooms have damage, especially under the tub. It tends to leak and stuff. So sometimes we have to replace half the bathroom and sometimes the whole bathroom. So,
so if it was a full bathroom, would you say it would go from 3 to 4 to maybe 4 to 5?
Just probably about $500 more.
Okay.
Only because it's a small bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay. When it changes, sometimes, there is surprises. We rip out the old tile, the 2x4s are rotten, and we have to replace all that and re-insulate. And sometimes I had a house where I had to replace the floor joists because it was so damaged, the subfloor. Then, we have to support one, put it in. And it's a lot of work.
Yeah. So what you can do here, folks, if you're looking online, you want to do a new bathroom, I tell you just to assume $4 grand, and then be surprised if it's less. If you're walking any of these properties and you go in the bathroom, here's the test. Try to jump up and down and see if the floor squeaks and moves. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in the tub area.
Yeah, especially around the tub. Go for it. Okay. All right. That brings on the kitchen. So in the kitchen, let's talk about first, let's assume the boxes, right? The cabinet boxes, let's assume those are good. So we're not replacing, but we're going to strip them, spray them white. Let's talk about that first. So we're just stripping and painting again. What's that kind of feel like?
For like with the counters and everything.
No, we're just going to do the cabinets first. We'll do counters next. Yeah.
Okay. Just the cabinets, you're probably looking at about 1,200.
Oh, okay. That's strip, take off the doors, take off the fixtures, sand them, spray them, put them all back. 1,200. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Now let's just work our way down. Let's assume new counter. The granite seems to be the popular choice given how long it lasts. And let's assume a granite backsplash as well, 3 or 4 inches, whatever the standard is.
Oh, okay. Usually for the granite, it's probably about 700 a slab with the material and labor. That includes your slab. And of course, depending on the quality of the granite, that's what
yeah. 700 would be my number. EVC Homes would be more than that.
Exactly.
You're being so nice to me. You're just going to call me cheap one of these days. That darn Michael guy's cheap. That's okay. I don't mind. I'm frugal. I'm not cheap. So now let's assume you go into the kitchen and it's like falling off the wall. So we want to rip it all out, but use the same footprint. So we're not moving plumbing or anything of that nature. What do new boxes costs? I have no idea.
Roughly, you'll save a lot of money if you go with in-stock cabinets from the stores.
Let's assume that. Yep.
Yeah, so if you go with that, keeping the same layout, you're probably looking at about another $3 grand just for granite backsplash, granite insulation, new cabinets, in-stock cabinets, and their sink and everything.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, $3 grand is brand new kitchen essentially, right? Rip out all the old one, new boxes, new granite, new backsplash, new sink, same footprint, $3 grand roughly.
Yeah, and then this doesn't include like any repair of the drywalls or anything. That's we could do that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about that. Let's assume the sink's been leaking for 30 years and you have to rip out the drywall, replace the drywall, new insulation. But again, same footprint. So that's another $1,000, or what are we thinking?
Roughly, when we look at the drywall, we look at the whole house. You know, like you said, there's patches, sometimes there's been leaks, and we have to rip that out, replace it. When you're in a kitchen, in an old kitchen, typically has old backsplash in it, so that comes out, and we have to replace it. Not even that. Most of the times, it's even plaster. So when we rip it out, it comes with it. So we have to level it out and stuff. Basically, for retexture and repatch everything, you're probably looking at about 2,500.
Okay. Yeah. Very, very cool. So again, what she gave you there, folks, if you're looking at the pictures online and you see an old pink or green backsplash and you know that's got to go, budget a little bit more, because when that's removed, likely part of the wall is coming with it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's assume you want to add a bathroom, right? Given maybe the layout of the house, there was an old walk-in closet that's right behind a legacy bathroom. So you want to turn a 3-1 into a 3-2. Full permitting, full inspections. Let's assume the plumbing is within 10 feet, right? Lines you can tap into. What are we talking about, kind of low to high on adding a bathroom to a house?
Adding a bathroom would typically be about 6,000 to 7,500 permitted, but that doesn't include your plans. That you have to get draftsmen to draft those up.
So say that one more time. So when you're adding a bathroom, getting all permitting, always do that. You're working with a general contractor here. You need a draftsman to draw it for the permitting process?
You have to submit plans to the city.
Yep.
Of your new addition.
Yep.
And let's pray that they approve it. So.
Yeah. So there's a whole process there. So we won't go down that rat hole. We can leave that for another discussion. But let's realize when you're working with a general contractor that we're going to get plans and permits and all that good stuff. So you and they are protected. Awesome. All right. So we did the bathroom, the kitchen. Anything else that kind of jumps out that I'm blank? Oh, I know. Rewiring a house. What? Let's assume that. Yeah.
Roughly like a 1,200 square foot house. Rewire it alone is for like 35,000. And then if you have to swap out the panel, that's probably another 1,500.
All right, so let's break that down for folks. So over the years, not so much lately, although I did have one recently, but during the crash, people would very frequently cut everything they could because they were mad, right? So instead of trying to repair the lines, if you're going to rewire a house, that's basically every outlet, every fixture, everything new. I don't know what you call them. I guess wires, right?
Yeah. A lot of people used to rip out, especially in vacant homes, they would take the copper out of the lines.
Yeah.
And seal it. And so a lot of old homes have to be rewired. A lot of homes also don't have ground from a certain age, to now. Yeah. But back then there was, they didn't have ground, so it's required by law now to, ground your house. So that's, if you're going to do a ground, might as well do a rewire. So.
Yep. So again, that was, I think I wrote it down, 3,500 roughly?
Yeah, about 35. And then if it's a new panel, 15.
And then let's explain what a new panel is for folks. Again, these older homes, they were wired to handle certain amperages and certain appliances. Today's world's got more stuff, so you have to take off the old one, put on the new one. Fair?
Yeah, 200 volts. Yep.
Okay. All right, so that's 1,500. Okay. All right. Anything else I'm missing? Anything else jump out, Maritza?
No, I think we got it all.
Awesome. So one of the things that I hope happens, and I know will happen, is frankly, a lot of people that watch me are going to want to talk with you or reach out to you because you do great work, and people in the office, if they've seen any of our walkthroughs, know the kind of stuff you do. So how can they get a hold of you? How can they reach out? What's the best way to say, hey, can you bid a job? How do you want this to work? Because I think you're about to blow up.
Well, they can get a hold of me. My phone number is 559-360-4907. And I am at the hub, so you can also drop by here. And then we have a Facebook page where, uploading our stuff, and that one is Augustine's Remodeling Inc. And basically, yeah, text me, call me. My email is augustinesremodeling@gmail.com.
Very cool. So one more time, I think everybody should go to your Facebook page. It's Augustine's Remodeling Inc., you said?
Yes.
So go check out the work, see before and afters. I can't believe Maritza gave her phone number. It's about to go nuts. I bet you're going to get text messages today. So let me know how that goes. You're going to go, Dad, here, take this. I need a new phone. Right. we will see what happens. But everybody, this has been a great show. It was critical for me to get a licensed contractor into the hub, because I want people that are following me and bringing investment dollars to Fresno to be working with a general contractor. Maritza and Augustine's Remodeling is a team that I use on my projects. So you know what that stuff looks like. And this is going to be fun. We're going to see how famous you get, Maritza.
I just want to say that, nothing of ours has been possible without you guys, our investors, and our particular customers too, and especially my dad. My dad has a big role in it. He's out there working right now, which he hasn't done in a long time because we are super busy, short on guys, and he is working. So you're lucky if he's in your home. So yeah, he's the guy too.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love how you gave credit to your dad. This father-daughter business is awesome. So you do great work too, Maritza. Don't forget, you're awesome as well. All right. Well, thank you very much for doing this on a Saturday morning. I'm going to reach out to you later in the day and see how much your phone's blown up. It's going to be fun to watch.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Have a great day.